The founder of the online travel booking site Travelocity knows a thing or two about disruption. His new book is called Disruption Off: The Technological Disruption Coming for Your Company and What to Do About It. And in his opinion, if companies aren't ready to disrupt their own industry, companies will get left behind. And joining us from Nevada is Terry Jones. Terry, thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you.
So let's talk about the book. I want to ask you about the travel industry right now and about the company, but talk to me about the book. And I know that Netflix is one of the sample cases you're talking about right now, especially as Netflix faces more competition than ever before.
Exactly. You know, I've been a public speaker for about 15 years after I left Travelocity on innovation, but more people today want to talk about disruption and what to do about it. And that's what the book tries to help you do. Netflix obviously facing tremendous competition from new entrants who are old players, right? Using their backlist to compete and take shows away from Netflix. So they crushed the industry once, they have to do it again and take even more risks. They're in a race to produce more content as they lose the original content that they didn't produce. And that's the case for so many businesses. You have to be able to run the marathon and the sprint. And that's what I talk about in the book.
Terry, Kristen here. So we talk a lot about how Amazon actually is disrupting the whole space. We were talking about it earlier, how they're disrupting the shipping industry. I'm wondering what other companies, as you were doing research, you think are really doing well at this disruption.
Well, if you look at people who are using a combination of AI and new products. So take Mack Truck, for example. They're using AI and IoT to reduce maintenance costs, almost 20%. So lots of people are looking at how I can reduce my costs. John Deere with smart tractors actually understanding now how the farmer uses the tractor and disrupting the tractor business. We're seeing, UPS deploying drones, 3D printing at GM. GE has the first 3D printed engine part. So people are doing this, but it's hard for big companies. And the number one barrier in a big company is risk. So I talk a lot about taking risk and taking small risks, continuing to experiment, because there are 4,000 to 5,000 startups out there every day nipping at your heels, and they are built on risk. I've started 5 companies. I know that. So you've got to take risks, and you've got to be willing to blow up your business, as Netflix did before, right? They blew up the disc business. They've got to do it again.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Netflix. So for those who are trying to get new business models to disrupt their competitors, when you look at the streaming space, aren't they all just basically doing what Netflix is doing, just repeating that? I mean, how is that causing more disruption?
Well, they're able to do it not really through the business model, but because they have the content. So that's an unusual business where the content provider is now competing with the intermediary. That happened to us at Travelocity. In the beginning, we had the whole pie. Right? And now the airlines and hotels are about half the pie. But you can change the business model. Philips, for example, went to Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam and proposed selling light instead of lighting. So now they have a 20-year contract to light the airport. What did that cause them to do? They have lamps that use 50% less power, right? Because they're paying the power bill. And they put in lights that last 75% longer because it's in their interest, and they're even recycling them at the end. So they're selling light instead of lighting. They're selling outcomes. Honeywell's doing the same thing with selling you cooling instead of just sensors. So people are looking at these models, subscription models, look at the Dollar Shave Club, and using not only technology, but business models to greatly disrupt the space they're in.
So, Terry, I want to ask you about travel. Obviously, we just had the USMCA being passed. I'm wondering what you think that impact is going to be on the travel industry and tourism.
Well, that's an interesting one. I haven't thought about how MCA should change travel and tourism. Obviously, tourism, one of the largest businesses in the world. The biggest trends we're seeing today are experiences. So we're seeing hotels, for example, beginning finally to do what Airbnb does and sell the experience in addition to the bed. Outdoor travel up 60% last year. Wellness travel growing very fast. So lots of new kinds of travel are coming in the market. I'll have to ponder what that tariff change will do. I'm not really sure about that one. But I think we're seeing hotel chains and airlines thinking more about the whole trip, because consumers want experiences and they want more than just the beach. They want to have an interesting thing to do when they're out there traveling.
All right, Terry Jones, good stuff. Thanks for joining us, talking about the book. Have you back on soon.
Thanks very much. It's Disruption Off.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.